Good evening, everyone. I'm call this meeting to order, reconvene to regular session at 7:04 p.m. Ms. Bell, can we get a roll call, please?
Ma'am, good evening, everyone. Trustee Ojapinti?
Here.
Trustee Salahuddin?
Here.
Trustee Ingarrett?
Present.
Vice President Lee? President Tejada?
Here. Do we have any changes to the agenda?
There are no changes, but I do believe that earlier today, Ms. Bell, there was an item that was deleted.
That was item 12-319, I believe. 12 Bravo 319.
8.1.19.
Yeah, it was a duplicate.
It was a
so just pull
duplicate.
that.
Okay. Okay, so with that change, we have an approval of the agenda.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, approval of the minutes.
So I have maybe some changes to that, but I would like to submit those at another time. I may have some changes to the minutes, but I'll submit that at a later time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and if we have a motion to approve the minutes now.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then if you have changes to the minutes later, you can amend.
Yeah, thank you.
The board report. Mr. Ojapinti.
Yeah, it has been a fast summer so far, but it is still summer. Glad that, our students have been able to get through summer school and, of course, graduations, and looking forward to that. That said, too, I think there's a lot that we've seen in the news in terms of education, with the budget coming out a little later than usual. It is reassuring to know that the governor is putting more money into education, including pre-K and higher education. These things, though, we know that funding across K-12 is not even in all ways and in all districts, including ours, that states' funding of our educational system plays a major role, in fact, the biggest role. And the changes at the state and federal level will impact our districts. So it is reassuring to see that Governor Newsom is putting that money there, and looking forward to how we can build with that this coming year. In addition, at the national level, one of our community college Chancellor Eloy Ortiz Oakley, was appointed to the Biden administration. So hopefully that will inform what we're doing at the national level and the federal level in terms of not just policy, but budget, and how we're looking at how we can kind of not just support, but expand public education and make sure that we can fill in those gaps in terms of unfunded, liabilities, the kind of things that pensions bring forward as a generation is changing and going to retirement, especially during COVID. I think there are policy, initiatives that we can apply towards instruction in our classrooms, but there are also initiatives that we need to take in terms of budget. And so I'm hopeful at this moment that, we have some leadership with the federal and state level that's pushing that forward. Also at the local level, it's good to see youth out here still speaking up. Recently we had a ribbon cutting ceremony at Geller Park this weekend. I saw some other members of the board and of course other cities and city council members there. The issue stands too that our city has not fully addressed other outstanding issues in our community, including the police shooting and killing of Roger Allen. And so as these issues are not just issues in our community, but they're persistent and pervasive across the entire San Francisco Bay Area, our state and our country, we further encourage our city, state, and of course, county officials to get ahead of this issue in a way that is not only transparent, but responsible and accountable so we can provide justice for the family and our community. That said, I'll stop there and pass it on to the next trustee.
Salahuddin.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody.
So, couple of things. One, I did go to the Capital Advisors, I think, yes, Code County budget meeting that they had for school board members, which is always extremely helpful. I really love that meeting because they kind of break things down in a way that is easily digestible. So, one, I'm very happy that the state of California, for regardless of the motives for doing it, is paying for universal lunch for all students. And that's something that the district had started doing many years ago. And, but I know that there was always concerns attached to it with the increased costs and our ability to keep up with the increased costs. So I'm waiting to see exactly what does that mean when they say that they're paying for lunch. Like, what does that mean? How much money that actually means per student, and for is that enough money to provide a lunch that's actually something that they want to eat, especially for high school students? But it's nice that that's a direction that we're looking to move forward, and there's many committed to that. But outside of that, for K-12, once again, there was not a lot of dedication of money to K-12 education outside of one-time funding, which is not something, again, I will take money if it's handed to me, but one-time funding, especially for programs that are ongoing, and you're only giving us money to get the program started, but not giving us money to sustain those programs. I would prefer sometimes that you just keep your money and stop pushing down unfunded mandates. So we are still not in a great place financially when it comes to the level of need in our school district with the amount of funds that we are provided. And so just being fiscally responsible and the ongoing need for continuing to find outside funding sources that's independent of what the state is providing is and stays a priority of mine. Another thing is that I had been doing and maintaining a COVID testing site at Jeff on Saturdays, and through issues with contracting, because we couldn't contract directly to the district, so we had to contract through the Daly City Partnership, but the Daly City Partnership didn't want to continue contracting with the county because it's a very long story that no one's really interested in. So the curative testing on Saturdays is ended, but what we're able to do is to get the independent contractor that comes with the full bus and is fully staffed that was there previously. They're coming back now, but they can only come on Sunday. So COVID testing has moved now at Jefferson from Saturday to Sunday, and it is going to be from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. starting this Sunday. And so I told them that I need a flyer. And so as soon as I get the flyer, I'll send it to you guys so you guys all have it. And again, I cannot stress enough to people that we need to get vaccinated, that just about like 98% of the people who are catching COVID right now are unvaccinated. And I know there's still, even though it's everywhere, it's still not as easy to get vaccinated as some people think it is for certain type of neighborhoods and groups. And so, there's tons of people that are willing to help. If you just want to reach out, we can find a way to get folks vaccinated. So please stay vaccinated or get vaccinated. And the last thing was just, I know that we're getting ready to, I can't believe it's almost August, and that we're getting ready to open school again. And, as we go into this school year, I'm just really mindful of it wasn't that long ago that we were just all in a lot of trauma, right? So, and now the break wasn't that long, and we're all going to be kind of like put back into a space. So I'm just really thinking about, proactively, what can we all do to make sure that we always say self-care, 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 and then that's not a reality. So what can we all do to make sure that, we all take care of each other, especially during this upcoming school year? And thinking about that is on my mind. That's all.
I don't have much to report except on that note of being mindful. I do want to hope that everyone's having a restful summer and trying to take as much vacation as you can before the school starts. And thank you all, teachers and staff, for all you do, especially this past school year. And definitely looking forward to what the future brings for us this next school year. So going to be positive and keep moving along. So, and that's all I have to say.
Trustee Todd, I'm so sorry, I forgot one thing. So, and this was an important thing that I said, don't forget this. And then of course, that's what I forgot. So we had 2 really good meetings about the development. Trustee Lee and I met with the subcommittee that Daly City has to go over different issues with the development. And it was a very good conversation about, just where we are, the plans that we have moving forward, just the phasing and everything. So I was really happy with that meeting and the continued partnership with the city of Daly City. And just really excited about moving forward. We're, the next phase is, hearing the results from the EIR report, and then also the Planning Commission meeting. And the other thing that happened was that we had a really good meeting with a local representative of the Ohlone tribe, just to talk to as many of the people who are in a leadership position in the tribe that actually once lived on the lands here. And really, those meetings have been really eye-opening for me on just how hard it is. They are even having hard time communicating with each other. It's just how scattered that they've all, what they've been forced to go through and how scattered and disconnected they all are. And so we had that one initial meeting, and he's going to help us, Mr. Galvin is going to help us try to pull other tribal leaders of the Ohlone people in so we can have that conversation, not just about the development, but also about possible curriculum for the district. And then we had a meeting today with the Sierra Club. So, and that meeting also was a really good conversation with members of the Sierra Club to discuss the project to date, answer any of their questions, and really talk about, our motivation, concerns that they had. And so I think we all left the meeting with a really good understanding and a good place. Superintendent Presto was there, and she may have some comments too on the meeting, but I can't, it's so many meetings, right? And, they're really busy. Our district administration is really busy, and they always make time for these meetings, and the amount of work that they continue to do, I'm just always blown away. So I'm extremely grateful. I just want to say thank you. So that was it.
That report is really important. I don't have a lot to report, just that I'm going to have a senior at Jefferson High School. And she, still doesn't have her driver's permit. I don't know what's going to happen when I go back to work. And I think at least she's one of the kids who realizes that school is starting later this year. And I don't think that we've announced yet. I don't know if each school has been different in announcing that we have a later start time. But I think some of the kids still don't realize that we start at 8:30 now. But because she's in student government, she's ready for it, and actually she'll have 0 periods. So I'm one of those parents who's now trying to juggle when we get to go back to the office, or we have to go back to the office. What do I do with my child and their after school activities? And so that's something that, I'm going to be dealing with, and a lot of other parents and families will have to be dealing with again. In and out of their kids are going to be going back to school. Oh, my kids don't wake up early, so. Okay. But I'm excited about the new school year, and God, everybody has been working so hard. Whether it's preparing for the school year or volunteering for the community, it's just been, we're just the hardest working district. Never stops, and I'm so grateful. And self-care is so important. I've made it a point to meditate every day, so or sometimes twice a day for, I'm on almost 3 weeks now, so that's gonna keep it going because we need this. And I want to stay strong for you. And that's all I have. Ms. Presta, your report.
Thank you. So on that note, I want to thank my staff for providing me the opportunity to take 2 weeks off. It was really needed and really wonderful. And I had complete trust, and, everything was well taken care of. So I think that most of us have had a chance to have a break. Some of us need a longer break. I mean, there are some of us who didn't even take 2 weeks. So, and we'll try and get those later. But I'm just really, really grateful to everyone, to all my staff. So along that note, while I was out, the associate superintendents met with the new Westmore admin team, and really gave them a very solid orientation. So it was very well planned out, and it sounds like it was really productive and really helpful for that team. So I want to thank all of them. I think that was really, really good. Other than that, I just kind of wanted to give an update on some upcoming dates. That we were going to have an administrator retreat on July 26th and 27th. We're really excited about that. We're going to be working, having a day and a half of training with Courageous Conversation. I really am excited for that. It's everybody from the deans, vice principals, site principals, directors, associate superintendents, about 30 people. So it'll be those 2 days. We're going to do some nuts and bolts training as well, just, some stuff on a new evaluation program that we're using. And Tina's got some updates with the budget, but mostly it's really focused on Courageous Conversation and race and equity work. We're also going to do a fun activity on the 26th. We're still finalizing our plan, but last year we did an escape room. This year I think we're going to do something a little more tame. I think we're doing bocce ball and food and drinks. But at any rate, we're going to try and have some fun together. And then August 5th, we welcome all staff back. We're going to be doing that at Westmore High School in the beautiful new theater this year. And we have a lot of really great stuff planned for that day. We're going to have a student panel. We're going to talk to our students about resilience and coming back to school and what they need from us, really get some good student voice. We're going to have Matt Redham working with us about resilience and return to school, same theme. Very SEL, social emotional focus on this day. We're going to get training on the community resilience model, and we are also going to be trained by Gender Spectrum. So we've got a lot of good activities planned for that day. And then, of course, the first day of school is August 9th. So you look away, and before you know it, here we are. And I do think, I know I'm excited to start my first full school year as the superintendent. And yeah, and I think that we're all excited for the fall. That's it for me. Mm-hmm.
AFT Local 1481 report, Ms. Casey.
Did you see my eyes blaze? She's talking about all those days. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm glad to be back and here with all of you. And I don't have much. I just know that the Westmore staff.
Oh, you might need to move to a mic.
Tomorrow, I have to go up there.
Yeah. He's gonna bring it up.
Good trial.
I was looking at you. I should have been looking at the
Is that gonna
camera.
reach?
I don't know.
No.
That's okay.
close.
She's used to moving. Sorry. So I was just gonna say tomorrow, the staff retreat for Westmore is happening, and I'm gonna go to that. I'm really excited to meet the new staff members and the new admin. We're doing the HR department has been hiring like crazy, and thank goodness. But I know we need a lot more hires, and it's a little scary to think that we may not start our school year with a full staff, but that happens. And we deal and we pull together, but hopefully we can get everyone hired. And we're getting ready to start some more, guess what, MOUs, and then we will start formal negotiations for 2021 through 2024. Now there's 5 contracts because we joined the BIS and the OS into a classified one. So we still have 5 contracts. So that's going to be moving forward really soon. So I just wanted to mention that, and hopefully we can get this school year started on the right foot with masks and everything we need. So thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to report at a closed session that the board voted 4-0 to settle case number 2020-2021/10. And as for item 4.2, there was no action taken. Let's see, we have item 11, that's information correspondence.
I think it's just supposed, is that supposed to be in
I
consent?
think that's supposed to be in consent, right?
I dyslexic, I just saw 12, but,
Can we, I know we,
posted.
sorry?
I'm sorry, I'm not following.
Okay, so item 11, we've
This-
got the ASB reports there and it should be in consent, right?
No?
No, I was
Or, no,
informed that it's only information only.
Information only.
So there's,
Okay,
So we don't have to approve it?
don't have to prove it?
Okay.
All right. Yeah, that's different.
Mhm.
That also goes for 11.2.1.
Yes.
Onto the consent items. Mr. Ochapinti?
Yes, there are two items that I'd like to pull for discussion.
Okay.
12.3.1.19 and 12.3.1.20.
Whereas,
That's
12.3.1.
19, the one that was,
We earlier removed that because it was a duplicate of
12.9.
0.3.
The
I
current-
think you want to pull,
So the current, what's projected for the public, at least online, is listed as 12.3.1.19 renewal of master agreement with Brookwood Group, and 12.3.1.20 is listed as agreement with Jack Schrader and Associates Incorporated to prepare developer fee justification study. Those are the two items I'd like to pull.
okay, hold on. So
I'm having a hard time
I
hearing
can't,
you.
yeah, I
I'm
can't
sorry.
hear you. Okay,
It's hard
so
to
you're,
hear.
well, the mic isn't, it's,
Go to us, it'll
just,
just
you
go.
have to just talk louder.
okay,
Okay.
so let me slow us down. So 12.3.1.19 is the renewal of master agreement with Brookwood.
Right.
Now that's a duplicate of an earlier item, which is 12.3.1.
0.9, I believe. No.
Oh, no, it's not.
It's 12.3.1.
Oh, it changed.
So it just went from 19 to 20. We took out 19, so it's just 20.
Okay. No, there were two Gotti renewals, not the Brookwood one.
Right.
Okay, so you want to choose, okay, so you're going to
So basically,
pull 19 and 20. Okay,
Yes.
okay, I didn't know she could do it like that.
Was information or notice given to the superintendent or the board president about pulling these items prior to the meeting?
No, but I'd like to discuss them tonight. Thank
No,
you.
no, but I just want to bring that up because we did discuss doing that and making that part of practice in our board retreat.
Yeah,
So if we could just, we all agreed to do that, so if we can
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, it's been a fast summer. My apologies, but if we
do
can.
that in the future,
Thank you.
everybody. Thank you. Okay, so we'll go ahead and pull those items. Do you have a
I
motion
think
to
19 and 20.
19 and 20?
Disney wants to pull 2.1 also. 12.3.
You said just two.
Just
It's just
to,
19 and 20.
Yeah, just the two.
Thank you. No worries.
okay, so so do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda with those items pulled?
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so let's look at the renewal of master agreement with Brookwood Group. Mr. Ojapinti, what is your question?
Yeah, so one, just to note that this is a 3-year contract. This contract, did the original contract extend to July of 2021 or did it extend through April of 2021?
Van Rapport, do you know?
Not off the top of my head.
So I think if we want meetings answered, questions answered we need to send those questions in advance so that they can come prepared, which is why we need to give the heads up that you're pulling items off consent. So you may not be able to have your question answered today.
So I'll just follow up with that. The reason why I ask is this is a 3-year contract. Brookwood is not present tonight. And actually, we don't have Vice President Lee here with us as well. So my concerns are, one, this is a 3-year contract with Brookwood, who has done well to serve in terms of their support for our faculty and staff housing project. So that this project is moving forward. I don't know that we need another 3 years for the contract, but my concerns revolve around the ones I've had for the last maybe 6 months at least. There's been a lack of transparency. I believe a lack of good faith work around that and communication around that, at least with myself and maybe other members of this board. But in considering a 3-year contract, I'm not sure if they're not here tonight, why would we even consider maybe even a few months, given that we've had a lack of information around alternatives to the projects that they've proposed, and even just open consultation at actual board meetings when I've asked questions. I couldn't even have those questions answered. So my concerns remain, and I would like those concerns answered by Brookwood, and maybe even by discussion of this board and with the greater public attendance. Given we're in the middle of summer and this is a very low attended meeting, I would just encourage revisiting this item at their meeting. Because I know that other board members may feel differently, but I do feel like it's a major item and should get the public input that it deserves. So those are my concerns.
All right, so Ms. Brenner, of course, has her hand raised.
I'd just like to clarify that this contract is for no additional scope of work. Each time we approve a scope of work for Brookwood, it's come to the board as a separate item. So we currently have some scopes of work with them that have already been approved by the board. And in order for Brookwood to continue to provide those services, the master agreement needs to be renewed. This is not for any additional scope of work, only for the work that has already been approved.
So
Motion to approve.
I would actually have another comment. If we're looking at renewing a master agreement with them for existing work, I would like to have, like I said, an open discussion with the full board and members of our community during a time when more members of our community can attend these meetings and play a part in this process. And I would like to maybe perhaps revise this renewal, given that we don't have those people here today, including Brookwood themselves, who are not here today. I feel like we should postpone this. I would like to make a motion that we postpone this to a later date.
I'm sorry, there's already a motion on the floor. I hear you.
Okay.
There's already a motion on the floor. That motion has to go first. So, and it was a motion to approve the renewal of the master agreement. Okay. So, all in favor?
He can, he had a motion, he can go ahead and restate. Do you want to restate your motion?
Now, if you have a motion first, that's procedure. So
So I have a motion in a second. So we're going to vote.
So
If
we're
we
gonna
vote, then
vote.
do you want to restate your motion or your?
I think we should revisit it, but if your motion is already moving forward, as President Tejada is saying, then we should take a roll call vote and just
I
vote.
think we have to, because there's a motion on the floor, a second, and so we'll go ahead and vote. I guess we'll do a roll call vote.
Trustee Ochapinti,
No.
Trustee Salahuddin,
Yes.
Trustee Ian Garrett,
Yes.
President Tejada.
Yes. So passes 3-1. And so it just passes because you cannot, if anybody wants to revisit this, it has to come from people who voted on it
I understand.
affirmatively.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so then now we'll move on to item 12.3.1.20, agreement with Jack Schrader and Associates to prepare a developer fee justification study. Mr. Ochapinti, you had a question on this?
Yeah, it's related to the prior item and just general development in our district, given that Ceremony Del Rey is being looked at as real estate and that we're not in all agreement on that. I'm looking at what this is in terms of, looking at a developer fee justification study is building on that premise. Here as it's stating, a component A, to project a projection of the residential, commercial, and industrial development. Component B, identification of student yield factors for residential, commercial, industrial development. Component C, generation of enrollment projections based on natural growth in new residential development. And goes on to talk about facility capacity needs, and later on, of course, in compliance with current developer fee law. So again, I would just echo my concerns from the prior item that our full board is not in attendance today. That this agency is not in attendance today as well, and that these have a larger magnitude that we should revisit at a later meeting. So I'll make a motion that we postpone this item to a later meeting so that we can discuss it fully as a community.
Ben Alpers, you have your hand raised?
Well, I think we need to address, there's a motion on the floor, so you can call to see if there's any second.
You can speak, I'm fine.
I understand that she can speak, but I'm thinking that we should probably stick to Robert's rules, and you put a motion on the floor, so it needs to be addressed. So we need to see if
Fine.
there's a call for a second.
Do we have a second? No. Okay, so the motion fails. Ms. Van Raphorst?
I just wanted to clarify what the developer fee study is. So every time there is a development in Daly City or any of the places that we serve, we collect a small portion of those, what are they called? I'm sorry. The fees that are charged for the permits. Thank you. Permit fees. We get a very small portion of those permit fees. And the reason we get it is because we have these studies done about every 2 years. Sometimes it's a little bit longer, but it's about every 2 years we have these studies done that show that when there's development, it impacts our school district. And we have to have those studies done in order to continue to generate that revenue from development. It has nothing to do with our development. It is specifically for generating development fees from permit fees. And Jack Schrader's office has been doing these developer fee studies for us for well before I was here. So that's why I didn't ask them to come, because we've approved these studies 3 times since I've been here in the last 5 years.
Thank you.
I think this is why it's extremely important that as board members, if you see something on the agenda, that you ask the question in advance, so that, you know, there's a lot of discussion that's completely miscategorizing what this is. The developer fees are huge for us in that they're revenue that come into the district when property especially is reassessed and developed on, that we want to make sure that we have this and all the documentation ready so that we can capitalize on any new fees that are coming in from any developments that are happening inside our school district. And we know that there's major development that's getting ready to happen, both in the Cow Palace area and in other areas. So we want to make sure that we have everything that we are supposed to have ready and done. So this is something that is absolutely critical to the district and needs to be approved, and something that we have always done and stayed on top of since I've been here as a school board member.
Yes, Mr. Ochapinti.
Yeah, just to respond to that, thank you for the information, Ms. Van Raphorst and Justice Aludin. Fully understanding that, because you made that point earlier, notifying the district in advance doesn't change the fact that we are in the middle of summer. This is a very low attended meeting. Whether or not the agency is in attendance, as they haven't always been, because it seems more routine. Something as routine as this still has an important role to play, especially at a time like this when we are looking at the larger issues, which are transparency, and as it relates to the entire school district and developments, which are in development. So whether or not I agree with it is one thing, but I would still like the information to be out there for our full community and for their community input to be heard here as it relates to all of these issues. So thank you again for the district's work on this, but my concerns still stand. And
right, I mean, my comment wasn't about your concerns. My comment was about you had a concern because you thought it was one thing that it wasn't. So if you ask a question in advance, there would be clarification. And if there have been things on consent agenda or things that are on the agenda where I feel like the company should present. And so I have that discussion prior to the meeting and bring it up so that if you are concerned about something, needs to be, or you are concerned about transparency, or you are concerned about a public comment on a particular item, that's why we're board members. We're supposed to, the responsibility, we can't negate our responsibility to come in advance to the district administration and place those concerns to them, not just show up at the meeting and say something hasn't been done when it wasn't requested prior to the meeting. So I think that, we all have to take responsibility for, who's at the meeting, who's present, who's not. And if something has historically been on consent agenda with no pushback from any board member, I don't know, they don't have magic balls. They don't know when we're going to want something. And we've always approved this item in the summer. Like, we've done this in the summer and prior. We've done it at a variety of different times with no issue. So I just feel like we need to be clear on the categorization and also, be fully stand in the part that we own.
Yeah, just to respond to that, I didn't need any clarification, actually. I asked what I asked, and I did mean it, and I understand the issue fully. So just to clarify that for you, but I think when we're taking responsibility for who here and who isn't here, these are professionals that we're working with. While this seems more routine, and I acknowledge that, the prior item is also a contentious item. It has been for the last 6 months. To pretend otherwise is misleading, and it misinforms the public. Ceremony Del Rey and development here, and anything else that has to do with development in our community, district-wide, is a contentious issue, because housing issues are contentious issues, development issues are contentious issues, real estate is a contentious issue, and housing, and the fact that many people in our community are not housed, they're currently houseless, and a lot of what's going on in terms of development in the Bay Area continues to be an issue of import for all municipalities. So when I'm bringing these things up, it's not out of any, I guess, it's not for no reason. There's a reason why I'm bringing it up, and I would ask that people just acknowledge that and give it its due. That said, not every summer is the same. Even if we have routinely approved these items, we have issues on our table today, and as we move back into school, post-COVID, that we should be analyzing in that light and with a different lens. And I will ask that every board member give it that due. So that's what I'm asking, and I'm sure we're gonna vote on it, but I'll leave it at that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I do want to say that, we all have our opinions, and we've all voiced our views. And so you characterize things, that is your opinion. You are entitled to your opinion. It doesn't mean we agree with it. It doesn't mean, for me, a lot of it is not true. So, but you're allowed to speak your voice. I am, as president, I'm going to let you, please speak. But we also have a responsibility as board members, as we had discussed in our study session, that, part of being prepared for a meeting is by allowing, if we have questions about anything on the items, that we talk to our staff ahead of time, which I have done, and for this meeting, I had some questions, and I had follow-up questions, and they were answered for me. Now, these two questions, or you even said you didn't have a question, but you wanted to point things out in relation to the two items, right? So, but you needed some clarification, and that could have been answered for you ahead of time. And then also, if you wished to have Brookwood here, or you felt that it was important to have Drac Schrader and Associates here, then our staff could have been able to do that. So, or discuss with us why you felt this was important and if we should bring them on. So I would just say reiterate to everyone on the board that if there are items that you need clarification on, ask Ms. Presta and copy me, or contact me. We all agreed on this, and it just makes this a more productive meeting, and just a productive meeting, a more productive meeting, and that we're going to move along, because part of my job is to direct traffic and to make sure we're using the best time allotted. Okay, so I I would actually like to, so I will briefly, if you have a comment, you raise your hand.
Yes, yeah, I just, for the record, I do have opinions, but I'm stating facts and I'm asking questions. So I don't want to misconstrue what I'm saying. I don't want anybody else to misconstrue
Well,
that.
that's what
When you
I'm-
say what I'm saying, respectfully, when you tell me that I'm just stating opinions and you don't agree with me, it's not true. What's not true for you is not negotiable when it's a fact. When I'm asking a question based on facts, those are factual questions. So there's no opinion involved in that. I do have opinions and I do have my own decision on things, but I'm just want to state for the record that what I'm saying is based on fact, not opinion. Thank you.
Okay, that's what you're saying.
Thank you.
I accept you are saying that. So I'd like to call for a vote.
A motion, do we? put a motion?
Call a motion.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Motion on this.
Yeah. Go ahead, motion to approve, contract as it's in.
All in favor?
Want to do a roll call for this
Okay,
one
we'll do
too?
a roll call.
Trustee Ojapinti,
No.
Trustee Salahuddin,
Yes.
Trustee Ian Garrett,
Yes.
President Tejada.
Aye.
3-1 vote, motion passes.
Do we have public comment? Have our action items. So we'll start with 14.1.1, the provisional internship permit for Braden Wriggling.
Yeah.
Okay.
You might want to go where Corinne says, because then the camera's not at the back of your head.
Did you brush your hair?
You're looking pretty.
Good evening, honorable trustees. Thank you for having me this evening. Our first provisional, we have two provisional intern permits this evening. Our first one this evening is for Braden Wriggling, who we would like to invite to be a teacher at Terra Nova for band for the 21-22 school year. He has a bachelor's in music and is very interested in working for our high school, is actively applying to San Francisco State in the internship program. So he's very serious about becoming a fully credentialed teacher. But at this time, he does not hold a credential, which is why we are asking for authorization for a provisional intern permit this evening. And I open it to any questions you may have.
Huh? You have a question?
Comment. Thank you for bringing these forward. I think it's important that we encourage those who want to become teachers to pursue that professional development however they can. I myself went through a process similar to this, and so I'm glad that we have somebody for this position and look forward to them joining our district.
Thank you.
We have a motion to approve?
So moves.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Our next, wait, I should wait for President Tejada to
go right
call.
ahead.
Okay, sorry, I was jumping ahead. So our next provisional intern permit this evening is for Ashley Carcazes, who was interested in teaching English at Terra Nova High School. Very dedicated, involved individual who's very familiar with the district, has a long history, and she's completed a bachelor's in English, so she has a bachelor's, she has all the units necessary, she's just not completed a credential, so she's entered into a credential program and will be completing one, but at this time does not have one, so we are asking for a provisional intern permit.
Motion to approve? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Look up very dedicated in your dictionary. There will probably be a picture of Ashley.
That's true. And the application for the CLAD waiver?
Okay, so this evening we are requesting a CLAD waiver for Terry Cabarly, who is a career technical education teacher at Westmore High School, has a very long history with the district. Her CLAD program of her portion of her credentials embedded into her CTE program. She will finish her CTE program at the end of the school year. So we're asking for a 1-year waiver on her CLAD so that way she can finish her credential and be fully authorized.
Motion to approve?
Second, absolutely.
Oh, 100%.
And a third.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And
Yay.
the application for variable term waiver for Joanna Bundock.
Thank you. So this evening, we are asking for a variable term waiver for Joanna Bundock. She is a very dedicated special education teacher at Oceana, very well liked by the staff. She's made a lot of progress. She is one of our teachers from the Philippines who arrived needing a lot of additional authorization. She's made tremendous progress, passing all 3 CTEL courses, as well as her CBEST, but needs to work on some credentialing authorization components. So we're asking for a 1-year waiver so she can continue making progress.
Second? Any second? I'm sorry, I want second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Let's get her up. Okay. Consideration of future agenda items? No. Okay. We adjourn tonight's meeting in honor of 3 persons. Gerald Jerry Littrell, retired JUHSD employee, passed away May 3rd, 2021 from a long illness. Jerry taught English, writing, and was the yearbook teacher for 3 decades at Westmore High School and Terra Nova High School. Among his fondest memories of teaching was being the coordinator for the yearbook staffs and the adventures they experienced. Jerry was also known in the local sports scene on the San Mateo County Peninsula, which included being a sports writer and correspondent for the San Mateo Times. He even became recognized as one of the best baseball umpires in the area. During his years of retirement, he enjoyed spending time with friends, candle making, shopping, theater hopping, and playing online spade games with his family. Jerry touched many lives and will be missed. We, the JUHSD Board of Trustees, send our condolences to the Littrell family, along with a host of friends and loved ones. Jerry Corgus, current JUHSD employee. Eric, paraprofessional for adult transition, passed away early July 2021. He enjoyed working with the students of adult transition and was a big Lakers fan. We, the JUHSD Board of Trustees, send our condolences to Lucy Corgus, retired JUHSD teacher at Oceana High School, their family, and a host of friends and loved ones. Alan Bronstein, retired JUHSD employee, Westmore High, passed away on July 7th, 2021, at home with his family and his wife by his side from battling cancer. He retired in 2016. He always had a huge smile on his face and loved to tell jokes. He loved to teach. He taught social science, and his students were so important to him. He loved to attend all the musicals and plays at Westmore. He didn't want a memorial service, so his wife says, "We can always have some pizza," his favorite food, in his honor. His advice was always to show up, suit up, and play. We, the JUHSD Board of Trustees, send our condolences to the Bronstein family and a host of friends and loved ones. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.